This is Valley News Live at noon.
Grieving families in Uvalde, Texas are laying to rest their children and relatives killed in last week's mass shooting at an elementary school. This comes amid shifting accounts of what happened that tragic day. We're also learning the chief of police for Uvalde schools has stopped responding to state investigators seeking another interview. A slow, somber procession, many dressed in Anne-Marie Jo Garza's favorite color, purple, watched as the little girl's casket was carried into the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Uvalde. A Texas family-ran business donated 19 caskets, all customized to what the children liked. As the wreaths and flowers pile on, so do the questions of a grieving community starved for answers, including how did the shooter get into the school? Authorities initially say the shooter walked in through a side door left open by a teacher, but that teacher's lawyer now says she shut it when she learned there was a gunman. On Tuesday, DPS said that was true. The door was closed but did not lock when shut like it was designed to. But the loudest question is why it took 75 minutes for law enforcement to confront the killer.
This is a parent's nightmare. I don't understand how police officers, they're sworn to protect and they're outside the room and just hearing gunshots, kids screaming. Go in there, save those kids.
The largest police union urged its members yesterday to cooperate fully with investigators. Meanwhile, Renew efforts continue to find common ground in Congress on federal gun control legislation in the wake of recent mass shootings in Texas and New York. A Connecticut senator convened a small group of colleagues from both sides of the aisle Tuesday to discuss background checks, red flag laws, safe gun storage, and school security. Their proposals would still face a tough road in the Senate where Republican leaders do not agree guns are to blame.
Problem, which is mental illness and school safety.
I can't guarantee you that there will be a compromise, but I think we will know one way or the other by next week.
President Biden says it's time for Congress to act to address the country's epidemic of gun violence, but is also looking at what actions he can take on his own. The House Judiciary Committee is expected to meet tomorrow to consider a gun legislation package, which would, among other things, raise the age for purchasing a semi-automatic centerfire rifle from 18 to 21 years old. Turning our attention to the weather, we're learning more about the tornado that tore through Elbow Lake, Minnesota 2 days ago. Let's go to meteorologist Lisa Green, who has all the new details. Lisa?
Well, good afternoon. Here's a look at the first survey that has resulted in a designation of a tornado from the National Weather Service. They went out and checked out all that damage in Grant County and found that an EF2 tornado with estimated peak wind speeds of 115 miles per hour struck that county. The path 11 miles long, the width 400 yards. That's 4 football fields wide for this one. So a longer track tornado on this. It affected places southwest of Wendell first and then ended up lifting northeast of Elbow Lake. Some of the damage reported in its path, 6 grain bins that were removed from their stands and tumbled over a mile, crushed with the path of those bins being blown around. Numerous trees and several power poles that were snapped along the path, and some roof and walls gone from some storage sheds as well along that 11-mile stretch. So this is just the first one. The National Weather Service plans to do more surveys throughout the coming days, and if we get any more reports, we'll be, of course, passing those along to you. Here's the good news. Today, quiet. We've been dry. We've got some sunshine with some clouds in parts of the southern end of the valley here, and temperatures are rising. We're back into the 60s now. Fargo 66, it's 68 in Grand Forks. Taking a look at our radar and satellite map, no rain to show you. You can see there's some high clouds more into the southern valley, so not completely clear blue sky this afternoon, but still a pretty nice day compared to where we've been. So I bumped us up as our temperatures are rising to a high of around 70 degrees here in Fargo. Expect some of that wind that we've got out there to continue this afternoon. We'll let you know if we've got more warmth on the way as well. Today is the first day of June. It's the first day of meteorological summer. We haven't really seen much of summer weather just yet. And we'll, of course, be tracking that for you coming up in just a bit.
Here's to hoping summer is around the corner, but enjoying the sunshine while we can.
We'll take what we can get.
Exactly. Thank you, Lisa. A Minnesota man is in a Grand Forks hospital after hitting a deer while driving a motorcycle in Polk County. State Patrol officials say 61-year-old Dean Thompson was driving north on Highway 92 late last night when he hit a deer near Range Line Road. Thompson was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash, but he is expected to be okay. The trial continues for the man accused of a shooting attack on a Minnesota medical clinic that killed one staff member and wounded 4 others. Yesterday, Gregory Ulrich refused to look at the survivors as they described their pain and terror. Ulrich faces several charges: murder, attempted murder, and other counts in the February 2021 shooting at the Alena Health Clinic in Buffalo, a small city about 40 miles northwest of Minneapolis. Ulrich kept his head laying on a table through the 2 hours of survivor testimony. North Dakota's longest-serving state senator is resigning today amid controversy over a report that he had traded text messages with a man jailed on child pornography charges. Ray Holmberg of Grand Forks served in the state legislature for 46 years. Police and federal agents in Grand Forks seized video discs and other items from the Holmberg's home in November. An investigation shows he traded more than 70 text messages with a man in jail on child pornography charges. Holmberg's attorney says he hasn't seen the search warrant and had difficulty getting information from state or federal authorities on why his client is being investigated. Perham native Corey Hapola is dropping out of the race for Minnesota governor. He was running as a member of the New Forward Party of Minnesota, but says the polarization driven by the Democratic and Republican parties will make it unlikely for a third-party candidate to break through this year. The Queen of England's Platinum Jubilee celebration kicks off tomorrow. Coming up at noon, we've talked with some Americans who have been camping out for days ahead of the 4-day-long celebration. But next, a cool, quiet start to June. Meteorologist Lisa Green is in to tell us how the sunshine will help our temperatures rebound.